Hello, I'm Kelly Teo. Today on Inside Story, trash tax, reducing waste by making polluters pay, and ditching Darwin, God enters American classrooms. Welcome to Inside Story. Household waste accounts for much of the rubbish Hong Kong generates. Over the years, the government has been promoting recycling to reduce waste, but people just aren't taking the message seriously. The recycling rate in Hong Kong is embarrassingly low, unlike in Japan or Germany. The government is now thinking of charging you for waste disposal. The more rubbish you dump, the more you pay. But will it work? Here's our report.
They're not mailbags. They're where people deposit household waste. Metal on the left, plastic in the middle, and newspapers on the right. More than 200 housing estates have joined a new government campaign to separate waste for recycling. Launched 2 months ago, the scheme requires estates to provide receptacles on each floor of a building.
如果你話嗰個走廊位係較為狹窄啲嘅話咧，我哋可能咧就會影響到嗰個走火通道啊，或者係阻塞到嗰個通道。咁我哋較為咧覺得咧懸掛式咧就唔會阻到個走廊。
Some buildings go for bags, some for bins, others buckets. In Sha Tin estates, waste separation is simpler, just wet and dry. But this one in Sai Wan Ho offers something more. Sort out your trash and you get a free cleanser.
初期一定會有㗎，即係初期多咗個設施擺咗，因為我哋嗰個垃圾房其實唔係好大，唔係話真係設計係話擺啲設施嘅。咁我哋係特登係話設計一個設施喺度。咁初期都係已經見得多咗嚿嘢咧，會唔會係話人哋將啲傢俬擺出嚟咧咁樣樣？我哋解釋翻嗰個方便啊，咁亦都得到大部分嘅居民嘅支持咧。
But as with any campaign, ultimately the question is, if it's voluntary, how long will it last?
Again, they are only allowing, they only request people to do it voluntarily.
Remember these 3 coloured bins? They're found mostly near shopping centres, along roads and in housing estates. The blue one is for paper, yellow for tin cans and brown for plastic. The aim was to increase recycling in Hong Kong. It didn't work.
It's only around 14% only. So this is really low compared with large cities in the world.
Today, recycling is no longer a mere green issue advocated by environmentalists. It's become a matter of urgency in a tiny city running out of space to dump its waste. You do the math. Waste overall is growing at 3.5% every year. For household waste, the rate is 4%, outgrowing the population, which is increasing only at an annual rate of less than 1%. That means even though our population is growing very slowly, we're creating a lot more waste.
Yes, we are one of the highest.
At the rate Hong Kong is going, all 3 landfills will be full in just 6 years, or a decade ahead of their lifespan.
The landfill problem is very critical. If we don't do anything now, soon in 6 years to 10 years' times, it will fill up saturated. Then where will our wastes go? Is it we will use up our country parks, use up our reservoir?
The government now wants to recycle at least 50% of our waste and cut down the rubbish that goes to landfills to just 25% of the total. It looks fine on paper, but will people cooperate like they do in Guangxi province?
The participation rate is around 85 or slightly higher than 85%.
Professor Jonathan Wong started a recycling project in Guangxi. Critics say maximum compliance is not guaranteed unless waste separation is enforced like in Guangxi. You don't sort your trash, you get fined.
We need to make a system that will facilitate the lazy people. Okay? Even though they're lazy, they find that they have no reason not to do it.
That may work in villages, but in a city where people live in buildings, how do you police violators? It's hard, so the consensus now is to take the Taiwan solution. Use prepaid garbage bags and nothing else for waste disposal. You throw more, you pay more.
Different size of bag, different amount. So people, if you are very environmental conscious, doing very good, you need to only buy a small bag. So this is an incentive there.
Hong Kong is the only place in the whole world where people can dump garbage free of charge.
In other overseas countries, there is no free bags. In Hong Kong, we can also do the same. Immediately, overnight, people will quickly understand the situations.
Officials say the bags may cost $30 each. And here's where the scheme can cause a stink. In Taiwan, people saved on bags by waiting for them to be filled until the rubbish rotted and stank.
The government can sell biodegradable plastic bags at a very low cost to each household. Each plastic bag would be sold at around 10 cents. So each of those bags would more or less contain only kitchen waste. That wet waste bag is so small. Literally, you cannot put a shampoo can into it, or you cannot put a piece of newspaper into that small bag.
But what if people just lump together all the trash in one prepaid bag without sorting them out? How do you stop them or know who's doing that?
One can always use barcoding. Each estate would have their own barcoding.
The government will know the way forward after the charging scheme is pilot tested at the estate that has done well in waste separation. But experts say recycling is not complete if the recycled material is not reused for another purpose.
We call it a food waste compost.
This fertilizer is made up of leftover food. The compost machine dries the water and, after 60 days, food waste turns into highly concentrated fertilizer. But Professor Wong admits his composter is not viable. It yields just a lump of fertilizer, not enough for an entire field, but it's perfect for gardens.
For the one in Macau, it's from the government. So the government is doing it in the market, okay, the wet food market. So they get all the wet stuff, vegetable and all this, they put into the machine. After composting, they utilize it for their landscaping. It's not feasible, but it's good for the company. They use this machine, they can reutilize it for their pot plant or for landscaping.
But what is likely to click commercially is this mechanical bin, especially in coupon-conscious Hong Kong. It crushes the waste inside to increase storage and saves waste collectors frequent trips to haul rubbish. Made in Canada, the machine can count as well. But the best part is it issues receipts which can be redeemed in cash.
All this material, if you mix into garbage, then it is garbage. The value is zero. If you separate it properly, then it's worth millions of dollars. Actually, Hong Kong earns billions of dollars every year from the recycling industry to sell our recyclable to overseas places and earn this money and create a lot of jobs for a lot of people.
We can generate up to probably more than 200,000 unskillful workers. The government would save $2 billion a year.